All right, well, not gonna try cutting wheat today, so might as well work on the baler and the rake, get them ready to go. We had a little bit of sun this morning, and then the clouds came back in, and our next storm front's supposed to roll through sometime this afternoon. We got pretty decent chances, so looks like the mice have been in here again. But anyway, I got started kind of late today. I was helping my buddy Matt bale straw till almost 11 o'clock well, we weren't baling until 11 o'clock, but we baled. He got done baling about 9:30. We got done loading the trailer because we ran out of wagons. We was just dropping them on the ground. We loaded up his dad's big car trailer. Well, I guess you'd call it an equipment trailer. It's like a 14,000 pound trailer, but we loaded that up, almost 200 bales on that. And by the time we got everything back and under cover and whatnot, it was like 11:15. So then by the time I got home, it was midnight before I got to bed. So it was kind of a slow morning, but I knew I wasn't going to do anything today other than this. And unfortunately, I'd rather be rather be cutting wheat, but it is what it is. Mother Nature's being a fickle bitch right now. But anyway, really all I got to do to this, I'm gonna get the air hose out and blow it off. It's covered in barn dust, and grease it. And I have to, I can't remember which nodder it was, but one of the nodders last year was throwing fits, cutting twine sometimes, because one of the twine knives is dull, and I've tried sharpening them on the baler, but you can only get so many angles on it. So I'm gonna knock the rivets out, get the twine knives out, sharpen them on the bench, and then bolt them back in. So that's really the extent of the maintenance I gotta do, is just grease it, fix some twine knives, and we'll be good to go. So anyway, first things first, get the air hose hot and blow all the dust off of it from sitting in the barn all winter. All right, let's get these knotters flipped up and see what we got. Nice thing is this baler has it's only actually got 5 years of actual production use on it, and then Max got rid of the cows, and after that it would only bale like custom stuff on occasion. So for all intents and purposes, it's not that old of a baler as far as use goes. It's still almost he delivered it in took delivery in 61, if I remember right from the manual. So safe to say it's a 1961, but well, yeah, June 19th, 1961, I think is what's written on the manual when he took delivery of it. So safe to say it's a 1961 baler. I'm just gonna cut the damn twine, because from the box out, it's pretty much just giant. Well, that one's, I think the critters chewed on that one, so that's that. So these are the rivets to hold the twine knives on. So I got to grind them off and knock them out, and then you just use some short bolts to put the knives back in. But the way they are, you can only get in there with a file. You can kind of get in there with a file, but you kind of can't. So we're gonna be better off to just get them off of there, put a good edge on them, put them back in. So that's the plan. Now you just gotta hope the rivets come out decent. Without breaking anything. That's the big deal. Because unfortunately, to get the wiper arm off, you have to like disassemble the entire damn knotter. But you also don't want to go hammering on it so hard that you bend the wiper arm. I think we're going to do a little drilling. Drill them out, and then that gives the rivet shank a place to collapse into, and then they'll drive right out. Okay, I think it's gonna kind of, well, maybe if I do this. I know I can get a better edge on them if I stone them, so rather than doing them on a, I mean, obviously the fastest way to do them would be to do them on a belt sander, but I know I can get a better edge going this route. I think that'll work. That looks... Oh yeah, there we go. I like that. Okay. Get a little bit of wet on there. This is a two-sided stone, got a coarse and a fine. Start over here on the coarse side and go over and finish them on the fine side. Alright, so I got them cleaned up fairly decent. They cut paper, so I mean they ain't like a pair of scissors, but they do slice paper, so if they cut that, they ought to cut baler twine. Now what I do have is this guy. This is an actual replacement Oliver knife. I bought this probably, shoot, 8-9 years ago. Back when I was part owner of a 720. And it needed knives. And I bought what at the time was the last 3 knives in the Agco Parts Warehouse. Now, that was 9 years ago, not to say some more haven't popped up since then, but these were the last ones at the time that were at least listed in inventory. So I just went ahead and bought all 3 of them. 2 of them were this style knife. They're thicker. This one is thinner, like a modern baler knife. But it's the same. You can tell the old knives are just a little worn, but it's the same. The whole pattern is the same. The profile's the same. Everything's the same. Because I tried, because when I bought these, it was actually a New Holland. They were transitioning from an Agco dealer to a New Holland dealer. So they had some New Holland stuff, and we tried matching these up with a set of New Holland knives, and they don't work. But, this thing is razor sharp, and I've always been reluctant to put it on a baler because my thought has always been there's a place that Dad used to do business with over in Ohio called Hamilton Knife, and I always wanted to send this to them and see what it would cost to have like 50 sets made or 50 pair made, and try to sell them. But I don't know how much of a market there is for baler knives for Oliver balers, but that was always my thought. But that's why I haven't used this one yet, because I want to keep it brand new. That way, when I do decide to, or do get the money around to have some remade, I got this one that they can pattern, and it's brand spanking new, good pattern to go off of. But anyhow, I guess find me the right size, or find me the size bolts I need, and these can go back in the baler, and hopefully they work. And the knives are back in. Just take some 1032 button head cap screws and bolt them back in like so. That's what the complete set, the pair of matching knives I put in that 720 years ago, that's what they came with, was 1032 button heads and nuts to put them back in. So it's just what I did here, because the only way to rivet these things back in would be to pull the wiper arm out and get them in, hold them in something that you could actually beat on without breaking anything. Who's calling me? Sorry about that. What was I talking about? Can't remember. But yeah, basically, long story short, twine knives are back in. Just gotta put that knotter back in its holster and grease this thing. And as far as I know, I checked the air in the tires. The gearbox on this thing does not leak, so I've never, I mean, I've checked the oil in it, but it's never leaked, so we're good there. And it's kind of a pain in the ass to check the oil in it, because it's one of these, you got to pull one of these bolts out, and I can't remember which one, because there's not an actual check plug in it. This is the fill plug in the breather. And I can't remember, no, it doesn't have a drain plug neither. I think you got to pull one of these bolts out to drain it. But anyway, yeah, basically grease it and should be good to go. Right, pup? All right, I got everything greased, so I guess we'll spin her up, make sure there's nothing going clang bang. Funny noises, that's always a good sign. Well, that's not worth a damn. Apparently the O-ring went out in this thing or something. Missed one, actually missed two. Get it. I just used this the other day on something else and it was fine. Kind of unhandy. Everything's looking good there. I guess all I gotta do now is at some point, or one afternoon this week after work, go down and grab some new twine, because these bales are like 4 years old, and I don't know what the heck happened to these, if they swell up from moisture or whatever, but they're all messed up. So probably grab 6 bales ought to do what I need to do. So anyway, I guess I'll run this thing back to the barn, and the next thing's gonna be the rake. Okay, so we're over here at the barn. I gotta swap out tires on the rake, because this guy last year when I was raking straw did that. That's inner tube. That's tube. And this one has a spot that's not too far behind. I just saw it. I was looking at it right there. That's not too far behind right there. I want to get new tires for this, but they are what did I was looking at them the other day. They are 521s, Firestones. And the only place you can get this tire is Miller Tire. They're the only ones that still make this size tire. It's still a Firestone, because when Firestone quit making them, Miller Tire bought the mold. It is this exact tire, same tread pattern. It is this tire, but they're $300 a piece. So new tires for this thing is probably going to be a this winter deal. I wanted to put them on last winter, but I ended up working on other stuff. So I want to put new tires on it and get the rims painted, and eventually I want to get the whole rake painted, because these things look sharp all painted up, and they're supposed to be an Oliver decal right here on the windshield, wind hood, whatever you want to call it. But this is an early number 2 rake. The later number 2 rakes that came out with the 3 digits had 9.515s on them, and they had 2-inch spacer blocks that went here, and they gave the rake a lift kit to raise the whole thing up. But as it stands, a 9.5 is only about an inch and a half shorter than these, so you're only losing 3/4 per side roughly. So you're not going to notice a huge difference without all the stuff to raise the rake up to make up for the different tires. But yeah, for now we're just gonna, you gotta pull this pin and you slide the clutch off, because the wheel bolt's on the back side, and it's a 6-bolt wheel, but they just use 3 bolts. So yeah, pop that off real quick, swap some tires out, and other than greasing it when the time comes, rake will be ready to go. Come on, Blair. Yeah. And then just to make things easy, pop it back on there real quick. And just for temporary reasons, I Just stole a couple of wheels off of my 10-foot disc to make life easy. Huh. Okay, I guess I am gonna have to mount them the other way. I was hoping to be able to mount them that way. I found it odd that they didn't pilot this. Of course, I guess with the weight of the rake, it doesn't really make that much difference because it's so light, but there's no pilot on this hub. They are strictly relying on the lug bolts to locate the wheel. That's what I was afeared of. You mount the rim that way, and it hits the frame. The other side should clear. What I might have to do is figure up, put it back together real quick because there's a second hole out here. Might have to figure out the distance I need and make a spacer to put back here to keep the axle from walking, and run this wheel out here is what I might have to do. Well, that worked out pretty decent. Like I say, this side fit just fine, and this side I had to make a 4.5-inch spacer to move it out to that next hole in the axle, because the other hole is right about here somewhere. So I don't know why. I've looked in the book before, and I don't exactly know why, at least on the earlier rakes, why they had the axle long with that extra hole out on the end. But they did. Obviously, it's got to be longer for the 9.5 tires, because when this one goes on, it hits the frame right here. But looks like before I put them back on the disc, I need to be replacing them tires too, because they're getting a little sketchy. But they're a lot less sketchy than those, because I can't see the tube. And if they'll carry that disc around, they'll carry this rake around. So, but all I got left to do is grease this thing, which that can happen the day I need to go use it. So anyway, now we just need the damn weather to cooperate. It's sprinkled on me a couple times today. It keeps threatening. It just ain't quite here yet. Can't beg, borrow, or steal rain for 2.5 months, and now I just like it to hold off for a week. And then it can do whatever it wants after that. But I really need to get done. I need to get the wheat cut. I need to get the manure spread. I need to get the ground worked. And then once that's all done, other than putting the chopper on the 7300 and changing the oil in the same, I got like 2 days worth of work on the 7300 yet. I gotta do some more work on rewiring the lights on the 8700, but other than that, oh, and I got 3 belts to change. I gotta change both the hydraulic pump drive belts and the AC drive belt, and charge the AC. And then do some light wiring. So I probably got 2 days worth of work on the 8700, and it's ready to go. Change the oil in the grain truck when we get done with wheat. That's really the extent of everything I could think of to get ready for fall. This thing I really need to get it over and give it a bath because it's still scuzzy from spring. I just haven't had a chance to bring it home yet. It's not terrible. It never got in any mud. It's just covered in dust for the most part. But that thing's good to go. The 19's good to go. Chisel plows are both good to go. Moldboard plow's good to go. Yeah. Not really a whole lot in the way of fall maintenance, but regardless, I need to get done with all the wheat and everything associated with it because I need to get over to my house and start doing groundwork for the lean-to on the back of the barn. I got all the trees taken out in that triangle directly behind the barn. So all I need to do is get the Mini over there, get the Morley's dozer over there, and start doing some groundwork and moving some dirt. So we start punching post holes and start, you know, building a lean-to. Hopefully by that point the price of lumber will come down at least a skish. So anyway, I guess last thing I got to get done today is bring the 7300 back over here and stick it in the shed since I'm not going to be needing it. It doesn't need to be sitting out in the rain for now. So anyway, I guess that does it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.